Right now, law enforcement officials are investigating multiple shootings around central Arkansas. What we know tonight.
I'm Frederick Price. Coming up, hear how Pulaski County election leaders are gearing up for early voting next week.
Plus, the holiday shopping season is right around the corner, and shipping companies say it's a good idea to send your packages as early as possible this year. We'll have advice on how to avoid those unwanted delays at 6:16. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sarah Horbacewicz here with meteorologist Corrales Ortiz. Now, we've had some really nice weather here in central Arkansas, but it's been pretty windy, and that's really not helping out some fires we're seeing pop up.
Yeah, so we're starting to see some grass fires being popped up across the natural state. That's something we've been mentioning, that when we have the increased risk of, we have an elevated risk for wildfires, it's dry out there, and you see that increase in those winds. It's been very windy. That's just going to impact more of that risk for the wildfire. So we are seeing reports not only in Jackson County, just near Newport, but also in Bradley County as well. So here's a live footage of that in Jackson County. Regina Allen sent us this footage. As you can see, it's mainly confined to the grass there. We're going to provide you updates if anything changes with that. But just a reminder, the wildfire risk for much of the state is high, with an extreme risk in southern portions of the state. That does include Bradley County. That means fire can be spreading pretty easily. The risk of large fires are possible, but that's just something we'll kind of keep you posted if there's any significant changes with that. So let's take a look at those current winds right now. They're sustained 15, 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25 or even 30 miles per hour. We'll continue to stay breezy into tonight, very dry, and we'll continue to see an increase in that cloud cover. Temperatures on the mild end as well. Sarah?
Now, Corrales, I do want to add to that we have reached out to the Warren Fire Chief, and we'll continue to keep viewers noted. We now know the identity of a young man killed at McAlmont Park yesterday. Authorities tell us that 18-year-old Kirk Kirkwood of North Little Rock was shot and killed at the G.T. Ashley McAlmont Community Park. Friday night, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office responded to the park, where they found one victim. There haven't been any arrests yet, but we will keep you updated as we learn more. Over in southwest Little Rock, one person is in critical but stable condition tonight after another shooting. Here's what we know. Around 6 last night, Little Rock police responded to a shooting near the intersection of Geyer Springs and Nova. One victim was found and is now hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. Police tell us this is an isolated incident, and we're still working to learn more, and we'll update you right here on THV11 and THV11.com. Another Little Rock man that was already in custody waiting to be tried for murder is now being charged in connection with a separate murder in 2021. Yesterday, police charged 18-year-old Jamarian Holmes with first-degree murder in connection to the killing of 49-year-old David Brown last year. Holmes was already being held in the Pulaski County Jail, facing murder charges from July of this year. He was arrested originally on July 6th in connection to the July 4th killing of Titus Moten at the Big Country Chateau Apartments. In just a few days, you can start early voting, and poll workers have been gearing up and are hoping for a big turnout. But before you head out to vote, you'll want to have a plan. THV11 is your election central, and our Frederick Price shows us how you can get ready to cast your ballot.
Election day and early voting to me, it's like a chance to show my voice.
With so many important races happening here in Pulaski County and other parts of the state, Terry Hollingsworth with the county clerk's office is reminding Arkansans that every vote counts.
We've had races here in Pulaski County where they've been decided by 4 or 5 votes.
Hollingsworth says her office is working to make sure casting your vote is an easy experience.
We've been out doing voter registration, and we tried to make sure people understood when the deadlines are for all of these elections.
And there are some changes absentee voters should be aware of. The deadline to submit an application this year is November 4th. You'll remember the previous deadline was the day before Election Day. That's why Hollingsworth wants everyone headed to the polls to be prepared.
Read your ballot, know who you're voting for, and also read those initiatives.
Hollingsworth also adds that voters can even take a copy of a sample ballot inside the booth.
That's their personal cheat sheet.
The county clerk's office is also urging people to bring other voters to exercise their right to vote.
We want your voice heard, and we want to make sure that you participate in this democracy. It's so important.
And of course, early voting begins on Monday. But something to note, though, most polling locations open up at 8 in the morning, but Hollingsworth says library polling centers will open at 10 a.m. In Little Rock, Frederick Price, THV 11 News.
Thanks, Frederick. Now, if you're not sure where to vote or what your voter status is, the Secretary of State or County Clerk's Office has that information online, and that can be found on our website at thv11.com. Now, we do want to remind you that THV11 is your election central, and we have everything you need to make sure you're prepared to cast your vote on Monday when early voting starts here in Arkansas. Polls will be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. and next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There is no voting on Sunday. Then your final day for early voting is the Monday before Election Day. Polls will close at 5 that night. Election Day is set for Tuesday, November 8th, and you can find everything you need to know about casting your ballots in our THV11 voter guide. You can text the word VOTE to 501-376-1111, and we'll send you the link to it nice and easy. And that beautiful weather this weekend has provided the perfect setting for events around Central Arkansas. This morning, LRSD families enjoyed Spirit Fest. The event held in Little Rock's River Market Pavilion showcased all of the programs and resources available for kids that attend one of Little Rock District's 43 schools. Families got information on everything from nutrition to volunteer opportunities. And it wasn't just business. Attendees also played games, watched student performances, and even got to dunk school officials in a dunking booth. And over across town, Harvestfest is buzzing in Hillcrest, presented by the Hillcrest Merchants Association. The family favorite returned today with its usual spread of shops, food, and fashion along Kavanaugh Boulevard. If you haven't made it out yet today, it's a one-day event and it's held each fall, but you better hurry because things shut down at 7. Now, after a 5.5-year hiatus, the North Little Rock Air Show returned to the skies this afternoon. Organizers say they had the biggest turnout for the two-day event that they've ever seen. In addition to aerial demonstrations, the show continued on the ground with food, vendors, a car show, kids fun zone, and the opportunity to engage in STEM activities. It looked like a great day for this hidden gem in North Little Rock.
So I was excited to have people out to the airport and see what we've got here in the city of North Little Rock. A lot of people don't know this airport is here, so it's a great way to get thousands of people out here and see what is a great asset for the city of North Little Rock.
The next North Little Rock Air Show flies back into town in 2024. Now turning to world news, the office of Ukraine's president says that airstrikes plunged close to 1.4 million households into darkness on Saturday. Meanwhile, evacuations are ramping up in parts of the country currently in Russian hands. Kristen Benavides reports.
Ukraine's military displayed Russian rockets that hit the Kharkiv region, including cluster bombs, which are banned in many countries. Ukrainian authorities want to bring them to the International Criminal Court as evidence of Russian war crimes. Power is out for millions of Ukrainians after recent Russian missile and drone attacks targeting electric utilities.
The damage they're inflicting will make it harder for Ukrainians to heat their homes, find safe water to drink, access the electricity that they need to run everything from stores to hospitals to public transportation. President Putin thinks that these attacks will somehow break the will of Ukrainian people. Instead, he is only deepening their resolve to defend their country.
In the capital, Kyiv, restaurant diners ate by candlelight during a power outage, now a fact of life across Ukraine. President Vladimir Zelensky warns Russia could be planning to blow up a dam at a major hydroelectric power plant that could cause devastating floods in southern Ukraine, including the city of Kherson. Under pressure from local authorities, thousands in the now Russian-occupied city swarmed its ports this week to evacuate. Ukrainian troops are expected to soon advance. In Frankfurt, the first ladies of Ukraine and Germany sought donations for Ukrainian refugee children at the city book fair. The Ukrainian First Lady said Ukrainian kids at home and abroad are missing out on a normal childhood because of the war. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Here at home, the online holiday shopping season is well underway. Just ahead, tips to make sure your packages arrive on time. But first, a quick weather check-in with Corrales Ortiz. Corrales?
Like we've been mentioning, we've been stuck in severe drought conditions. It hasn't really been helping with that wildfire risk. Fortunately, we have some substantial rain in the forecast that could help out with that. More on that coming up.